Among Us. The hit game released over 2 years ago, yet for some reason didn't gain momentum until very recently. Personally, I've been more of a Fall Guys guy, but that didn't stop me from attempting to jump on the bandwagon and try this game out anyway. What inevitably happened? Well, let's just say it was an interesting experience. For starters, I should tell you I don't really play multiplayer games with friends very often. Not because I don't enjoy it, far from it, but mostly because none of my friends are usually available to play these games with.
Don't even lie. The real reason is because you're just too scared to ask them.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Well, anyway, because of that, I'm not really used to talking with others while playing games. So when I saw Among Us got popular and pretty much everyone I knew, and then some, were playing it, I wasn't really interested in joining the craze. I mean, how would someone like me enjoy playing a game where communication is not only encouraged, but actually required to win? I'd be curled up in a fetal position by the end just begging for the whole thing to be over so I don't have to continue enduring the pain of my anxiety, making me act suspicious and being voted off first every single game.
What a baby.
Shut up.
You realize Among Us has a text chat so you don't have to talk out loud.
Yes, I know, but that's not as fun for people.
Well then it looks like your options aren't that great, eh? Either constantly sound like an anxious and suspicious wreck if you're playing on mic, or bring the enjoyment down by opting to use the in-game chat feature instead.
Yeah, and that was one of the many worries that drove me away from playing. But seeing so many people play it, I started to feel bad that I was missing out. So eventually my curiosity got the better of me, and I downloaded the game.
Peer pressure. Gets them every time.
I started it up and went immediately to free play mode, just to get a bit of practice in. I used the free play computer to enable every single task, and then did each of them a couple times. After that, I decided to mess around as imposter for a bit. Then, when I finally felt ready, I left free play mode, took a breath, and joined my first public game. Only to have connection issues. I tried joining again, more connection issues. After several attempts of trying to join a game and repeatedly being denied, I eventually gave up and closed it. And then, I never touched Among Us again. Until like a week later, Pivots XXD, which you may know as one of Jaden's animators, and overall a really chill guy, announced that he was streaming Among Us with subs on Halloween night. Considering I was following and subbed to him on Twitch, a part of me thought it could be a pretty fun idea, but at the same time, thanks to my social anxiety, I didn't really want to play because I felt like it would be a complete disaster for me. I consulted a few friends about it. They all thought it would be a great idea, but that ultimately it was up to me if I wanted to do it. Gee, thanks for the help, guys.
Oh, don't be sour just because you're too afraid to play a fun game with others.
I wasn't afraid, just nervous. That's normal, right?
Maybe, but probably not making such a big deal out of it like you did.
I wasn't making it a big deal. It's just, well, time was ticking and I really wanted to do it, but my nerves kept telling me no. Halloween was approaching fast, so I had to make a decision. Should I suck it up and take the opportunity, knowing it might mess with my self-esteem and may make me never want to play another multiplayer game ever again out of shame? Or should I say no and end up having the inevitable feeling of regret wash over me every single day for the rest of the month because I missed out on what could have been a really fun opportunity? Halloween day comes, and I make my choice. I'll do it. He joined me into the Among Us Discord call, and meanwhile my heart was beating like crazy and I was trying to mentally prepare myself to calm down for the game. He was also streaming it on Twitch, which didn't help my nerves, but I knew I had to not think about it. At least I didn't have to watch myself on stream. He said we weren't allowed to do that for obvious reasons.
You know, it's amazing how scared you are of being on a Twitch stream when you're literally making YouTube videos and sharing them publicly.
It was just a new and unusual sort of thing for me, that's all. If I did it more, I'm sure I'd get used to it.
I'll believe it when I see it.
And so the games began. I started off as crewmate. Big shock, I know. But also kind of relieving knowing that I could actually do stuff in the game legitimately instead of having to worry about pretending. That didn't stop my nerves though. While moving around and doing tasks, I was constantly trying to not look suspicious, which probably made me look more suspicious. I kept turning around, changing course, panicking trying to find my next task, going back and forth when I was near someone else, etc. Luckily though, no one really suspected me of anything. I continued to do my tasks as usual, trying to not catch any attention, until suddenly... Well, that sucks. Yeah, in hindsight, I probably should have been more alert. I was too focused on not looking sus and doing tasks that I forgot about the whole try to avoid getting killed part of the game. At least as a ghost, I didn't have to worry about that stuff anymore. But it's not like it mattered anyway because, believe it or not, we ended up losing. Yep, The imposters sabotaged the reactor, and no one made it in time. Well, that's just great. My first game of Among Us, and I lost. As a crewmate. But I thought, that's part of the experience, right? You learn along the way. Hopefully my next game I'll fare a bit better and help my team to get a proper victory. We started a new game, and I was fully prepared to be the best crewmate I could be for my team. I hit the start button, the starting screen faded in, everyone went silent, and then that's when I saw it. The eerie glow of red filled my screen, and I saw the word that I never thought I'd see on my second game ever. Imposter. I was shocked. Everyone always talked about how they played through hundreds of games and didn't get imposter even once. I guess I just got really lucky. But in my case, it's more like unlucky. I mean, I only play one game as crewmate, and now I suddenly had to completely remember how to act like one off by heart. My first thought after seeing the screen was, they're definitely gonna vote me off right away.
That's what you get for being too scared to play the game beforehand.
I already told you, I wasn't scared. I was anxious. There's a difference.
Is there though?
Maybe not to you. So we played the game. I tried to be as convincing as I could. It didn't help that I haven't completely memorized all the tasks and where they were. So like the previous game, I spent a lot of time just wandering trying to find where some of my fake tasks were. But that wasn't my biggest worry. No, my biggest worry was the actual killing part. My mouse was constantly on the kill button, but I never pressed it because I was so scared that I'd butcher it horribly and end up being spotted right away.
Ha! I told you you're scared.
During the meetings, I tried my best not to be called out. Luckily, I'm a pretty decent actor in that regard, don't mean to brag, and it really came to my advantage because no one ever voted against me. Not even once! My imposter buddy, though, was not as lucky, and when he kicked the bucket, I knew I'd be in for a much rougher ride. He essentially did all the killing up to this point, and there was still quite a few crewmates left. I tried my best to continue avenging my fallen fellow soldier to little use. My nerves continued to take over as I never once pressed the kill button. The taskbar was filling up fast, and as it did, I got more and more panicked. I tried to sabotage at one point, but dumb panicky me didn't know what I was pressing, and I accidentally locked myself in the engine hall. With no one else. Still, throughout all this mayhem, somehow no one suspected a thing about me. Eventually, though, the taskbar filled up all the way, and the crewmates won.
Nice job helping out your imposter colleague.
It was only my second game, and it's not that big of a deal. At least no one voted me off. I mean, no joke, I explicitly had to tell them I was the imposter after the game ended. That's how good I was at the acting part. Anyway, we were all set for one more game, but Pivots ended up having internet issues, and sadly had to end the stream prematurely. While disappointed that we couldn't carry through to another game, on the inside a wave of relief completely washed over me. I could finally calm down and stop worrying so much about things.
Yeah, but you still had to deal with the fact that you played 2 games of Among Us, one as crewmate, the other as imposter, and you lost both. What do you have to say for yourself?
You know what? All I have to say about the whole experience was, it was fun, and I'd love to do it again sometime.
So you're not scared?
Nope, not at all. Special thanks to Pivots XXD for having this opportunity. If you can, go check out his YouTube channel. He's almost at 100k subs, and I'd really appreciate it if you helped him reach that number faster by subscribing to him. And as always, keep soaring, my dudes.